Hey everyone, welcome to my first video on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do an everyday makeup look, just very simple and glam. So the first thing that we're going to do is going to get a hair tie. We're just going to sleek our hair back, make sure we don't get any of our baby hairs in our makeup. So I'm going to take this moisturizer from Clinique. It's called Moisture Surge. I really love this moisturizer. It makes my skin feel really plump. You're just going to put that all over your face and rub it in. Next, we're going to take this Olay moisturizer. It has SPF 30 in it, and I love using this because I need sunscreen to protect my skin from the sun. It's very damaging. I recommend everybody do this because we want our skin to stay youthful and young as long as possible. Okay, so next we're going to take this eye cream from IT Cosmetics. I just started using this eye cream and I really love it. I think it really helps depuff my under eyes because I have really dark under eyes and they really bother me, but this really has been helpful. And you want to pat them into your under eyes instead of rub. You want to keep your under eyes youthful. You don't want to tug. Okay, so next I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and we're just going to pat everything into our skin, all the moisturizer, just to make sure that it's all pressed into the skin and blend it out nicely. We're going to also take this Vaseline moisturizer. I love it. It's very hydrating. I use it morning, every time I put on makeup and at night, and it keeps my lips plumped and not chapped. And then we're going to take this Smashbox primer. This is their original photo finish primer. I love it. Just pat it into your skin, don't rub. You just want to push the primer into your skin and fill up those pores. We're going to take our beauty blender and pounce the primer in again, and now we're going to take our Mario Badescu setting sprays. I have the lavender and the aloe vera, but today we're going to use the aloe vera one. You're just going to spritz that all over your face, adding an extra layer between your skin and the makeup, and just pounce that in again with the beauty blender. So next we're going to move on to the eyebrows. I just got my eyebrows done when I filmed this video, so there's not much to do, but I'm going to use my brow pencil from Benefit Cosmetics, and I love this brow pencil. The pencil on it is very sharp and it just fills in very naturally. I don't use many gels or pomades. I just use a brow pencil, or you can use Anastasia Brow Wiz. Those are holy grails for me. And so I just create a straight line on the bottom just to sharpen out my eyebrow, and then I just try and fill in the little sparse areas like the front of my eyebrow and my tail. So basically we're just going to do the same thing on the next side, and I'll be back when it's all done. Okay, so now my eyebrows, I filled them in. Now we're going to carve them out with some concealer. I love doing this to make my eyebrows look a little bit more defined. So we're going to take our NARS Creamy Concealer in the color Custard, and I'm going to put that on my brush. And we're just going to outline our eyebrows. You can do the bottom. I like to do the top also, and somewhat in the middle, just to make sure everything looks similar. Okay, so now we're going to take our beauty blender and we are just going to blend that all into our skin and make it all look even. Okay, so now we're going to take the same concealer and we're just going to dab that all over our eye. And this is going to act as a primer for our eyeshadow. And you're just going to take your beauty blender and blend it all out. And for extra priming, we're going to take this Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and this is just going to act as another layer to make sure our eyeshadow is bright and vibrant. Okay, so now moving on to eyeshadow, we're going to take this fluffy brush and the Tartelette in Bloom palette from Tarte. This is my go-to everyday eyeshadow palette, and we're going to take the color Flower Child and just buff that all over the lid. This will set the concealer in place. Okay, so next we're going to take this fluffier blending brush and we're going to take this bronzer from Physicians Formula. I also use this for normal bronzer on my face, so it just ties in the whole look together when you use the same bronzer in your eyeshadow. So now we're going to use this Morphe palette. It's called the Brunch Babe palette or something like that. And we're just going to combine two brown shades together, the lighter one in the bottom row and the right corner top row. And we're just going to use these colors to add more depth to our eyes. Okay, so now I'm going to use this mirror. I love to put my foundation on it. We're going to combine this NARS foundation and my L'Oreal Infallible All-Wear foundation. So you're just going to pump about a pump and a half of the NARS foundation and some of the L'Oreal foundation. Just mix them together for the perfect color, the perfect blend, the perfect wear. So now we're going to take this IT Cosmetics foundation brush and we are just going to dip our brush into the foundation and just put it all over our face. This does not need to be blended or perfect. We're just putting the color down so that we can blend it out with our beauty blender. So now we're going to take our beauty blender and just blend everything out, making sure to get all the creases around the mouth, your problem areas, all of that. Okay, so now we're going to take the excess foundation we have on the mirror and just put those in the areas where we think we need more coverage. Now we're going to take our Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer and another Maybelline concealer, just their Fit Me concealer, and we're going to combine those two to get rid of those dark under eyes. We're going to use the Fit Me concealer to really get rid of those under eyes and just add more coverage and just focus on my smile lines, your smile lines, and any areas where you think you have darkness that you want to get rid of. I have a lot under my lip and around my mouth, so I like to apply most of my concealer around there. And so you're just going to blend out all the areas that you put concealer, blending out your under eyes last. So after you're done putting your concealer, you want to set all your liquids in place. So we're going to use our Laura Mercier translucent powder, which is a holy grail. Everyone should have one, or a dupe of it from the drugstore. And we're just going to bake underneath our eyes and make sure we have no creases from all that concealer we put under our eyes. I like to bake in the areas where I get oiliest, so my T-zone, around my mouth, to make sure I don't get any smile lines or creases where I put my concealer, and my chin. Okay, so now it's time to bronze and look like a bronze goddess. So I'm going to take this Tarte Kabuki brush and my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and you're just going to outline the perimeter of your face with bronzer. Okay, so next we're going to take this Sonia Kashuk brush, and this is just going to give us a more contoured look and more depth, and it's just going to be able to place the bronzer in the exact places where we want it. So now we're going to take this fluffy brush from Sonia Kashuk and dust away the bake in the areas where we put it. We're going to try and dust away some of the under eye, but it's not going to get rid of all of it. So we're going to use this new brush. It's from Sephora. I got it in a gift set, so I'm not sure what number it is, but you're just going to use that to really press the powder into the skin. Try not to just wipe it off, but press it into your skin. We're also going to use this blending brush from Anastasia and the bronzer that we use around our face in our lower lash line to add some depth and connect our lid with our lower lash line. So now we're going to use this brow gel. It's from Benefit and it goes along with the brow pencil we used, and I love it because it has a thin end and a thicker end, so you can use the really thin one to really define your brows or the fat one to just put them in place. So now we're going to move on to highlight, my favorite thing. We're going to use our Morphe highlight and our Anastasia Glow palette highlight. We're also going to use this Sonia Kashuk fan brush that I got at the drugstore. And so we're going to use Anastasia highlight first, those two shades on the right. We're going to mix them together and highlight on the highest points of your face. Okay, now we're going to take our Morphe brush and do the same exact thing. I think the Morphe highlight just adds a little bit more shimmer and more sparkle. We're also going to take this small brush that I think is supposed to be used for your lid, but I use it to do my inner corner highlight and to do my nose highlight. One of my favorite things to use highlight for is my brow bone. I think it looks beautiful in the summer and during winter, and you just see the light reflect off of all the high points of your face. When it comes to nose highlight, you don't want to put too much nose highlight or else you could look oily or greasy. So just put a little, and if you put too much, just always tap your finger, get rid of the excess, or use a beauty blender. Now we're going to highlight our Cupid's bow, just add to the highest points of our face and above our eyebrows just to add that overall glow. Next, we're going to use blush. I don't always use blush, but I felt like being a little extra today. So this is my blush from Tarte, and Tarte has some of the best blushes. So now we're moving on to mascara. I'm using the sample Clinique size and a L'Oreal mascara from the drugstore. So we're going to use the Clinique one first. I like to apply this first because of the brush. It doesn't make my eyelashes too clumpy. And then after, I like to apply the L'Oreal one to add length and volume. So now it's a good time to take down your hair or style your hair because you're almost done, so now you can somewhat see the final look. So we're going to use our Mario Badescu setting spray just to lock everything in. I like to spray it all over my face and then fan it with either a book or an actual fan. We're going to take our beauty blender and just push all the product into our skin, making it long lasting and all wear. And now we're going to take more highlight. I'm laughing because why not more highlight? We're going to use this Sephora VIB Rouge brush that I got and just add a little bit more highlight to our damp skin. Okay, so now I'm using this lipstick. I think it's from L'Oreal, and it's an everyday lipstick that you can just use. I love lipsticks. They're easy to put on, and they're long lasting. You can reapply. They're great. Okay, so this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed this everyday, somewhat glam look. Thanks for watching.